Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on January 8th, 2015. And well, for the most part, you got to feel that this entire show is based around setting up for the next week, especially with obviously the Adrian Neville Sami Zayn promo. They did a relatively good promo, probably not one of their better ones. I did like how Sami Zayn came across, and the same with Adrian Neville. They did a really good job of setting up the rematch, and then the subsequent program with Kevin Owens afterwards. So they did a relatively good job there. I did thoroughly enjoy that. The match with Hideo Itami and Curtis Axel, I thought they did a really good job with the relative short time that they had. They put on a fairly entertaining match, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I would like to see where they continue on having these two work together and using Hideo Itami as kind of like a thing for Curtis Axel. His redemption, or he's trying to pull off this like redemption type deal. I feel like they'll have Hideo go over here because they're really trying to push him up towards the top, in there. So we'll see where they go with that program. Or if Curtis Axel goes on to someone else, and Hideo Itami has somebody else to go up against. You also had some decent promo time with Tyson Kidd setting up his match with Finn Balor for the next week, and also you had a little bit of a promo time for Natalya, basically not really setting up her tag match with her teaming up with Charlotte and Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. So you had some decent setup promo time there. They also made the announcement that Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin were going to have their first in-ring action, so we're going to finally have our first in-ring action for that particular storyline. So a lot to look forward to for the next week with those particularly 4 matches. They also had the return with Tyler Breeze coming in there. He faced off against one of the newcomers. The name skips my mind right now. I'm pretty sure I'll learn it the more I see him. They put on a relatively good match. So the newcomer definitely has, at least in ringside, has some kind of potential of putting on some good matches. So let's see how he can come off on the microphone when they actually start giving this guy time. And maybe they have something there. I do like the whole amateur style look that he had, because I believe he was an Olympic amateur wrestler as well. So we'll see where they actually go. We'll see where they actually go with that. This brings into what was the main event of the night, which was the Lucha Dragons and the Von Villains for the tag team titles. This is basically the close off for their storyline, and them having the you felt like maybe they would actually have the Von Villains go over in this case and maybe change the tag team titles here, but they decided to keep it on the Lucha Dragons, which isn't a bad thing either. They put on Sin Cara and Kalisto put on some really good matches as well. And we'll see if that makes it fully the end of that program, or if they try to continue it on in some way. The match itself was fairly entertaining. The new finishing move that Kalisto and Sin Cara had looked a little awkward, at least to me. Maybe it wasn't performed to the perfection that, to its highest level that it needed to be, but it just came off a little bit awkward, but did at least look somewhat impactful to go along with it. So overall, this week's NXT was a relatively entertaining show. You had some, like I said, you had some really good matches in there. I liked the match with Hideo Itami and Curtis Axel, the Von Villains, and the Von Villains and the Lucha Dragons was a fairly entertaining match as well. Same with Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. They did a pretty good match in there, relatively short, but still well executed in a fairly good match there. Trying to make Sasha Banks look a little bit stronger as they're continuing her program with Charlotte as well. So overall, this week's NXT did a lot of setup for the next week, and they did it in a fairly good way. They didn't necessarily spend too much time time on those promos. They spent a decent amount of time, but not too much time, and it helped set up those matches for the next week. The in-ring action this week was also fairly good as well. So overall, I would give this as a pretty good show. It wasn't obviously crazy over the top good or anything like that, but it was at least still a decent to good show. So, yep, that's my review this week for NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.